there, this is Kevin with Kevin's Hobby Time. I hope you're doing well today. Thank you for joining me. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the basics of scale modeling. So you've made the decision that you want to build scale models. That's basically what this is, okay? So when we think about scale models, there's two main categories that most people think about, and that is how do you put them together? So category one is going to be snap tight. And that's literally where you take parts and you push them together with like a pin and hole type thing. They basically press fit. This kit here is called a glue kit, or a model that has to be glued together. So when people think about scale hobbies, 99% of them think about these types of things, building cars, trucks, tanks, planes, ships, etc. The difference is like the Gundam type robots, which are a press fit as well, but it's not a snap tight. But that's a separate category that we're not really going to be talking about today. This is mainly going to be an introduction to you're getting into scale modeling. You know, what does it take to do this? That kind of information. First off, what does the kit even look like? So you go to your local hobby store and you decide that you want to build a car. So you see something like this and you're like, hey, I'll go ahead and do this. All right, what does it even look like? So here's the basics about the box, what it kind of looks like. There's different pictures on it, and this really isn't about this particular model right now, but it's, hey, this is what it looks like. Okay, so some information that's included that you're going to want to pay attention to is like where it talks about the 12 plus. That's saying that you want to at least be 12 years old to build this model. It's a level 4. It is going to need some glue, paint, and tools, and the scale is 1/25. So scale basically comes out to how big is this in relation to real life. We go with a 1 scale or 1/25 scale, etc. So 1:1 would be literally a full-size real car. So what this is saying is that in essence, it would take 25 of these models to equal one real-size car. That's the best basic way I know how to say and talk about it. I'm not going to go into details about all the conversions and everything, okay? But most average car models are going to be 1/25th, and there are a lot of them that are also 1/24th, okay? What's in the kit, right? This is what we're going to look at. So let's open up the box. Pop that out. Okay, so, and I've got a camera in front of me, I'm kind of working with that. So as you can see, this has a car body, pretty decent 69 Camaro body. Okay, this kit is also, it's made out of a styrene plastic. It's a type of plastic that's it's durable, but it's not super durable, and it's easily to fuse together using cement, and I'll talk about that in a second. Usually you'll get, in this case, a car body like that. You'll get some tires. These are, I believe, called pad printed. Okay, that way all you have to do is put the rims together on it, put it on the car. Most of your parts are going to come on out of the kit looking like this, kind of like stuck to plastic, right? Okay, so this is called the tree, because it's like a tree and there's the branches going out from the tree, okay? These are injection molded plastic kits. In essence, they have a metal mold. They take plastic and they shoot it into it, and then they open it up and out comes your model parts, okay? And they come on these trees. That's basically what all these are. So here's an example, like this is a hood, and these are like the inner doors for the Camaro, and they all are connected to this tree, and they have to be removed from the tree. And you'll have this case that's molded in white. You have some more. There's like chrome plated parts. That's like the car tub, or the inner part of the car. There's your floor pan, basically, motor, etc. And then you have your instruction sheet, and you'll have a decal sheet. And the decal sheet is literally, these are like decals that you can stick to your model to give them a unique look, okay? And then your instruction sheet. Okay. And there that shows like how to put your decals on. Instructions will usually include information about the car itself, kind of the history, give you some information about it, read this before you begin, etc. Carefully study the assembly drawings to the contents in this plastic kit, etc. These basically will help tell you the basics of it, okay? Here, let's look at this. All right. So each plastic part is identified by a number. In the assembly drawing, some parts will be marked by a star to indicate chrome plated. For better paint and decal adhesion, wash the plastic parts in mild detergent solution, rinse and let dry. Check the fit of each piece before cementing. Use only cement for polystyrene plastic. Scrape plating and paint from areas to be cemented. Allow paint to dry thoroughly before handling parts. Any unused parts may be discarded or you can keep. Okay. Okay, to continue, go on. So inside you'll have, this is called the paint guide. Revell has their own paint codes, and they have their letters like A for aluminum metallic, B orange gloss, etc. At the bottom they also have some, they talk about the decal application, how to do it. You can read through that and be able to do it, but I'll show you that later. These are some of the things that you'll be looking at, like this tells you to do it 2 times or 4 times. That's going to be like open up the hole, etc. Repeat your procedure, optional parts, decal, assembly caution, sticker decal, use cement, remove and throw away, do not cement, etc. Okay? And then here, this one actually has a part name and number. It's like part number 1 is body, part number 2 is the rear panel, part number 3 is the hood, etc. Okay, what else does it do? And not all instructions are like this. Some instructions are different. Okay, so here's the example of the first one. So like the first step you want to do is they're going to have you build this engine, start the engine, okay? So you see you've got an A and a B, and you've got 2 numbers, okay? So the A and the B are colors. So if you remember, A was like the metallic and B was like the gloss orange. And then you've got that one, okay? So how do we find that? So you're going to look through your parts trees. Hey, that looks similar to what we were looking at. So if you look really close, you'll see where it says 90 and 91, okay? So that is part 90, that is part 91. If you look on the back of it, you're going to see that one half of it has like these little nubs, these tiny little nubs. It's hard to, there it is. You can see the little nub right there, and then you see the hole. When you take these 2 parts off, they're going to push together, and you put those little nubs inside the hole and with some cement, and that will literally melt them together. The cement melts the plastic together. Now it doesn't like turn it into a puddle, but it will melt the plastic together, and that's what bonds the plastic. In essence, it fuses the plastic together, so that's what holds it all together the whole time. And actually I need to put that back in. A good way to store your decals in the kit is to put them back inside of your instructions. Put those down on the bottom so they're flat. Gently put your parts back in, trying not to break them apart or anything. So some things to consider is that this is basically what a kit looks like, and they're going to have different parts in it. Some kits are better, some kits are worse, so it just all depends. But ultimately, they're all pretty similar in how they come out like that, okay? All right, so now you're like, what does it take to actually work with something like this? So you've got to have a way to remove parts from the tree, which you could literally just start breaking them off like that, but a lot of people freak out when you do that. A more precise way is to cut the parts loose from the tree so you don't break a piece of plastic off or leave like a really bad mark or damage the actual part, because people get really particular about the cars and their models they build, okay? So a lot of people will usually try to get a kit, so we're going to talk about that next. Okay, so when you first start out, you're trying to figure out what do you actually need, and then it'll sometimes tell you on the box you're going to need some tools, and it usually tells you need the glue, paint, and some kind of tools. So you can go to a place like Hobby Lobby or off the internet and order simply, this is like what's called Testers. Testers is a product name, so like a manufacturer. This is an acrylic kit meaning it includes acrylic paints. The basics of acrylics is that it's a water base, and I'm talking very generic here. I'm not going to go into chemical details and all that, but it dries very hard and it dries very fast. Okay, so this has your paint, it has a cutter, it has some paint brushes, it's got some glue and cement, and it's got some sanding sheets. It's not a perfect kit, but it's a good kit to start. Okay, and there it tells you what's in there. Okay. All right, so what colors are included in the kit? Let's look at that. Got gloss black, flat white, gloss red, clear. Now the difference between flat and gloss, flat is literally a matte or a rough, like a non-shiny finish. Gloss is a high shine or a shiny or a polished finish. It looks like really shiny, okay? You got your gloss blue, flat gray, flat tan, flat black, gloss yellow, gloss white, metallic silver, metallic gold. Now this kit isn't made for any particular model, so the colors that are called out on this particular model kit, the 69 Camaro, you can actually see it talks about these are the recommended paints if you were to use the Revel paint, okay, by Revell. If you have those, great. If you don't, then you can sit there and paint it another color. All right, but let's look at some of the components. So this is what's called clear glue. So it helps with gluing clear parts like canopies or windows. It has a really sharp hobby knife. These things are like mini scalpels. Be very, very careful. They will cut you very easily. So here's the basic paint brushes. These are really basic paint brushes, guys. These are not like super high speed, okay? You've got your old school Testors cement. This stuff is like a gel. I don't like to use it. It's not the best cement on the market, and I'm going to recommend one other type of glue for you before your first model. I mean, one of the things, there's two things you're going to want to buy besides the kit. That's okay if you don't have the money. If you do, you can use this, and I'll show you using a couple of parts. Here's the sanding sheets. These are to smooth the surfaces out. Now, the lower the number, the higher the grit or the grain, meaning it's more and more rough. Okay, so the lower the number equals rougher material. Okay, as you can see, that's got, you can easily see the grain on it. Yeah, it doesn't listen. And then as you go up, you can see that the grain gets finer and finer. That's where you even get all the way up to, you can get all the way up to like 10,000 grit and everything. Of course, today it's going to be problematic. There we go. This is almost smooth, but you can see that there is some grain on it, okay? This I would usually use wet, so it was called wet sanding, and we'll talk about that later when we actually do some things. Okay, what do the paints look like? These are the little Testors paints. Testors model paint has been around forever. It's formulated for polystyrene plastic, but it's a basic acrylic, okay? That's like clear gloss. We got white gloss, flat tan, flat white, flat black, gloss black. Remember, flat means not shiny, gloss means a lot of shine. And you get red and yellow glosses. You've got blue and gold metallic. And then the final two that come in the kit, gloss white and light flat ghost gray. Okay. Another tool you're going to need is something to cut and remove the parts. And we're going to talk about another couple of variations here in a second. Okay, guys, so a couple things to understand. You can build models with this glue, okay? However, it literally is like a gel, and it has string, it gets stringy, and it takes a long time for it to dry. So putting it together with these, you can do it, but it's not the best, and I'll show you. I'll use it for a couple parts. To make it more precise, you can actually put one of these tips on here, and in that way you get an even finer point, okay? See, you already got a string coming out of it. This stuff is just, it's like a goo. Okay, 2 highly recommended parts to add to your very first kit is a set of flush cutters, which is like this. You can get cheap sets off of Amazon, and I'll put a link down to one down below. As you can see, this helps you cut them off the tree, off the sprues, much easier. And then a grate cement is by another company of the grate is Tamaya. This is their extra thin cement. This stuff is like water, and it dries fast, meaning it bonds really fast. And then this is their extra thin cement quick setting. You can tell by the light green cap. There's a dark green cap and a light green cap. Go with whatever your local store has, or you can buy it off the internet. And again, I'll put some of this stuff on Amazon, and I'm not affiliated with anybody. It's just where I get stuff. I actually get most of my stuff from Hobby Lobby, but a lot of the specialty stuff you're going to have to get from other stores. This glue is fantastic, and I will show you how this works once we get into building the model, okay? And there's also the other glue, which is CA glue, which is super glue. Super glue is good for really fast, but it bonds to itself, and it's a fragile bond. We'll talk about that later. Some other types of plastics glues are like the Plastruct, Plastic Weld, general purpose solvent, but we're not going to talk about those right now. We're mainly going to work using the extra thin cement and the flush cutters, okay? That pretty much is all you need to start your first kit, is this set of tools, that type of thing, okay? Now right there, you can effectively build this first model. It's not going to be the best looking model on the planet. It's not going to be the best thing, but you can do it. You can get into the hobby. You can start. That's why you want to get a kit that you're interested in, but maybe if it gets a little messed up, you're not too worried about it. But the more you do it, the more models you build, the better you're going to get, the better your skills are going to get. So the best part of the hobby is you're actually putting something together and you're getting to enjoy it. And it's just fun to see something go from parts into a finished product. And it's they're neat, and I like them a lot, and that's why I really like to do it. So this series, pretty much, this is what we're going to be talking about. This is the introduction to it. The next videos, we're going to talk more about and get into starting to work on building the model. So thank you for coming along on this journey, and I hope you learned something from it. Thank you very much. Stay tuned for the next video.